Yo, vloggers don't know. Welcome to Come True, the podcast. This is your boy Farai. Thank you for coming through. Happy Father's Day.
Y'all already know.
Bless it.
But even though y'all
Yes, I
already
the man
know,
them. Happy Father's Day to Ayo. Big up, big up, big up.
but
You know.
wait, my brand, how the man gonna just I can't say my name so they could put a voice to my name.
Oh
Damn,
my
man.
God, Mr.
Damn,
Luxurious. I do
damn,
apologize. Bring
damn.
it up, bring it up, bring it up.
But y'all already know what time it is, man. And if you didn't know, now you know. It's the fucking luxurious Mr. Deshaun Webhead today. You know we got a voice of reason, but we don't have the commanding voice of reason today because my boy said he taking over the shits today. Peter, aka Sassy, aka Mr. Brian Peterson.
I hope a breeze blow off that hat so people can see who you really are.
Oh my gosh.
Take it away, man. Take it
Hey.
away.
All right, fellas, how the man them doing on this Father's Day, man?
Hey,
It's-
feeling great. You
Yeah.
know, I come with my blessed dad tea that I got a couple Father's Day back from my mother. Shout out, moms. So it's
Oh
feeling
wow.
great.
She
Feeling
looking good.
great.
She looking good.
Mother, I have never
Web.
gotten no t-shirt that's anything but blessed dad. So I here to know we gotta step it up. We gotta step it up. But I feeling good, man. I feeling good, man. It's a blessing to be able to celebrate this day today. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of people have that luxury. And you're gonna have a lot of people in the future that are gonna have that luxury, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel happy that I'm here to be able to say, hey, I have some children that could celebrate Father's Day too. As I shared on one of the
Hey,
pods before,
Mhm.
I lost my father, so unfortunately for me, I don't have a father to say Happy Father's Day too. But with that being said, I have plenty other people who I do wish Father's Day, which you'll probably get into later, man.
yeah, and I gotta say happy Father's Day to the big man, Pops, Positive Nelson, for those that don't know. I usually don't announce that or broadcast that. I know we could be twins, we look like twins, everybody always say that, but I don't
Yeah.
necessarily broadcast that.
Who says that?
And
I
this is
thought
when
you
I
were that
smile, you
pretty
can see
once.
it, but I
Never
think
heard it.
everybody be lying to me. But
Yeah.
all week I've been running that tune for my father. Shout out to my auntie them. They have a singing group called Positively Nelsons, and this tune was old. So I gotta run it real quick. So y'all bear with your boy. Cause it's been on my heart. Alright, y'all ready?
Run through.
Oobity
He's one of the best
oobity I
guys.
just kidding. Alright, check it out. They call him positive. That's how he live. No matter how people try to be negative. Yes, I say he a fight for our people. No lie standing with him now. People of the Virgin Isles. He lived abroad in Babylon before Jah blessed him with a vision
Awful.
to return to his homeland and start making decisions. He became a high school teacher to give guidance to our youth, then move one step further and founded Ovilu. He's a man of our business. There's no time for lollygagging. You cannot sit back and just watch our people dying. Our ancestors fought strong for both you and me to abolish the evidence of slavery. They call him positive. That's how we live. All right.
Lighter,
It's
lighter,
just a
lighter,
big tune,
lighter.
man.
Like,
It's a big
hey,
tune.
I
So,
want y'all to
hey,
know something. I jump on this part today and I hear it. And I say, wow, my boy, you're practicing.
I check. He
hey,
had the
my
vocals. He
son.
had the vocals that
I, yeah, so
hey, that
big
heck
tune,
right.
big
You know,
tune.
like
Shout out,
big tune.
Pops. Love you. Love the man. Happy Father's Day to you. Of course, everybody else in my family, my brothers, my cousins, everybody that's fathers out there. Happy Father's Day. Love you. And I hope you have a great Father's Day.
Hey, likewise, since we shouting out fathers, big shout out to my stepfather, man, brother, man. Well, I had to
Brother
call
man.
him, but Bevan Smith, for those who don't know, that's my stepfather. So, though my biological father have left me here, I don't want to say like that, that's some figure, but though he passed away, I had brother man throughout all my life to help guide me as well, you know what I'm saying? So, happy Father's Day, man.
Crazy thing is, I completely did not know that that was his name because Brother Man is a name that we always hearing. Always
Oh
hearing.
no. So the man never introduced you. Hey, I'm Bevan.
No. Never. It's more so just
Wow.
like a halo. Only time I ever really see the man come out, yeah, that time we was up at the crib by Web.
You know the truth, man.
playing that
We got
cocoa
it.
nut cheese and stuff, yeah. And the man come out with his guitar and everything, yeah.
I
Oh, he
remember.
already
That
to
was
join
a
the band.
serious vibe, man. That was some vibes.
Hey, we gotta pull up that tune one time on the pod one of these days, man.
No, we don't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got a video.
Hey, hold
Before
up,
you been
hold up.
luxurious when you had no bed. Yeah, we want to.
Oh my
I send it
god.
to you, fire. We gonna pin
Hey,
it.
that's
Hey,
crazy, yo.
But yeah, man. Shout out to the fathers. Shout out to pops. People in Instagram know my father, my son, the little shot guy who always busting a line. Yeah, a fast tongue. But yeah, man. Shout out to the brothers with the kids. Everything blessed. You know, shout out to you guys, the young fathers, being good role models in the community and whatnot. But let me get into something, man. How are you feeling?
Let's talk
feeling
about it. Let's talk
great.
about it,
Yeah,
man.
I
let's
mean,
get to it,
you know,
man.
both you guys, two kids apiece, under 30, doing what you gotta do in the community, doing what you gotta do at home, getting it done. Let me just start off. How did it feel becoming a father for the first time?
I know you go first, Farah.
Me, man, becoming a father was extremely exciting for me. It is. I would say this was a planned pregnancy. Not saying like, yo, this is a day specifically that you don't get pregnant, but it's more so like we think we're ready to have kids. Unlimited water usage. There's no holding back. It's straight water, hose down. So that's why I call it a planned pregnancy because we were going at it with that expectation. But yeah, man, no, it was I was super excited. I couldn't wait.
Mhm.
I was definitely nervous of getting a girl first. I did definitely want a boy first. Um, I used to say I never even wanted a daughter. Sorry, Nami. But yeah, that first one was, and then after finding it was a boy, hmm, cloud 9, man. Great, great, great. I was just excited to meet the man. Right now, he's a menace to society, but love the man wholeheartedly. Yes.
Well, for me, it was not planned. Back in them days, I was a little Hennessy monster, you know what I'm saying? Man, I used to be drinking. I was not the guy you see on this podcast today. I was a little Hennessy monster outside. So water was just getting loose because hey man feel like losing the water. And then find out like, yo, this what going on.
Oh
Then here
God.
comes Nala, the first one, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Shout out to Nala, that's my little dog. Then we still a Hennessy Monster, you know what I'm saying? Come at the first child, it ain't changed much. So right after we talking about like, hey, what they say you have the little after the little 3 months you're good to go. Hey, it must
Hmm.
have been 229 days because hey, we back in the lab. Nala born September, Amani born October of the next year, you know what I'm saying? So we were right back in the lab.
My son working hard at it.
And and we bust it up, man. But it's a beautiful thing being a father. And I'll say in the recent years, I've really embraced the role in terms of like looking out to try to think about the future of them and so much different
Hmm.
things where I should really touch on a little bit in the pad. But man, it's a surreal feeling, man, to actually think and look at that child like, wow, like I really made you and you really out here calling me daddy and looking for me for guidance and providing, you know what I'm saying? So I love it, man. Wouldn't trade it for nothing.
Yeah, and I can't shout out
Okay.
TJ without you know with my daughter. So planned, I had a bit more restraint than Web over here. You check, there's like a uh,
Mhm.
3 years and change difference between them. It was also then a next full grant access for water down. So yeah, she get pregnant with Nami. I did want a boy again because my
Mhm.
wife, she claims she wants to stop at 2 kids, and I always felt like two of the same pair is the better pair. That's how I always felt. But so during that gender review and finding out it was a girl, I mean, it wasn't the happiest moment for me and my son. They have a
We could
video. We
also
might
tag
even
that
clip it on this. Yeah,
video.
yeah, yeah. Clip that video. But yeah, I'm definitely so happy that I do have a daughter. She did have She did come in here in style with all her issues and things, and already stressing her father out. So I can't even imagine what dating and boyfriend and things gonna look like. But that's my princess, and I love her to death. Nah, me.
It's good.
Once again, for another part, I'm gonna say, Brian again.
You know, like far
Next
I
Father's
I
Day.
I
Next
taking my
Father's Day.
time. Oh yeah. I
I
hope
like
nobody
it.
else watching this video. You like it? This is why I stopped drinking. I ain't risking nothing. Back to it. Back to it. So, fellas, you know, especially Web, I want to hear you kick into this one
Talk
first.
to me.
How not only becoming a father once but twice, being a father to two beautiful girls, Nala and Amani. How has becoming a father helped you to mature over the years?
So I definitely say before you have kids, you essentially well, you're supposed technically you're essentially living a more selfish life. You don't have to worry about taking care of anybody but yourself. You know what I'm saying? I feel like as soon as I had kids, now I have put the responsibility on myself to be invested in the livelihood of somebody else, and that goes from their emotional intelligence to their making sure they're good financially, making sure they're able to grow up and be the person they want to be, and of course, with a little bit of my influence of what I think they should grow up to be to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? Trying to instill in them values and these different things, which then kind of forced me eventually to have to figure out my own values and figure out my own boundaries and the things I stand on. Because if you're not very self aware about what's going on with yourself, how can you then instruct and teach somebody else, especially some kids, how to develop these things for themselves? You know what I'm saying? So it kind of forces you to get into that mindset and think a little bit more into the future and think a little bit more outside of yourself to be able to to raise some kids, especially when you have another parent involved, to be able to mature, and if you're together or not together, be able to coincide and get on the same accord to a certain extent to then effectively parent and raise these children, especially because I have girls. That if I were lucky, he got a boy. I still waiting on a boy, but now I have to go learn about a lot more about women and these kind of things because I have the responsibility of raising two girls and helping along with their mother, helping them to mold into being some great and valuable women in this community. You know what I'm saying?
Farah?
But,
Well, yeah. So how has it helped me to mature? I mean, similar to like how what Webb has said. You now responsible for an entirely new life, one that is completely naive to the world that we live in and has no beforehand knowledge of what to do in this world. And you have to, it really does kind of change your mindset from that selfish way of thinking, and forces you, and also gives a level of motivation and drive to want to be able to provide all the things for them that maybe you never had before, or just so that it could be straight. You're making sure food on the table, everything like that. So it really does shift the mentality to the gravity of having an entire life to take on. That, yeah, helps that shift. So
Okay, okay.
very, very interesting thing. It's a very interesting thing, and to me, it don't really. To me, it always hit me. Like it never like a moment where like oh, you accept it. Like you get some days when they talking to me, especially when they're growing and learning to talk more and articulate themselves, and they be like, "What the hell is this, dog?"
dude, yeah, yeah, like every other day, at least once a week, I'd just randomly either to Maya or to myself. I'd be like, dude, before Nami Oban, dude, I got a son. And now it's
Yeah,
like,
like it's
dude,
crazy.
I got daughter. I have children. I'm a father. Like, geez. Yeah, it's always crazy because especially in that early stages before they get to becoming an adult, they go through a lot of freaking changes, man. They go
Facts.
through a lot of freaking changes, a lot of phases. TJ is only 4, and I mean, from that infant to 4, just thinking that he's 4 right now, where has the time gone? What is going on? The man going to kindergarten, this stuff happened in so quick. is crazy. You never really not amazed of the things that they learn and how they've developed, and when they come to you with these mini grown man concepts, and it's like, who are you, dude? What's going
Right.
on? Who is this guy? That I say that probably once a day. Who is this guy with something he says?
I agree.
True, true. Now that you know, you like you said, Fire Web, your kids are growing up and they're developing and coming into their own. Looking back at your own childhood, do you give your parents, your father, more grace for how you were brought up? Now that you're going through
Mm.
similar things and seeing how children develop and how you have to change your mindset, become selfless, be more patient. How talk to me about that?
I guess it's that. I definitely give my father, not just my father, but my parents as a whole, more grace. Um, because them little shits could be little shits, man. And it really just you really just have to be self-aware and manage your emotions to be able to project it in a healthy way. I like I said a few pods away. I did not like my father for quite some time growing up. You know, he could have been. He was a pretty harsh, pretty. He was very strict, and also in like a. It's always seemed a little more mean, you know, than necessary. So I definitely give him grace, but I do think that he could have been a bit more graceful. You check while still being a disciplinarian and with all his ways. So that also helped me as coming into being a father. Just some of the things to watch out for with managing my emotions when it comes to disciplining and dealing with my children.
And I completely agree. I'll just expand a little bit. Like, children is not easy to deal with, especially when you going through whatever you're going through and you having to do what you have to do for yourself. And then now you have little kids running around harassing you, want this, want that. You know what I'm saying? So I completely agree. While and I think the feeling of there could have been more grace comes from our experiences and our upbringing as well. Because in the time, I think the time where we grew up, it wasn't the times now, and I know we're getting to that as well. But I really I respect the way I grew up. I know a lot tougher. I would say it was a lot
Right.
tougher and compared to how I parent. You know what I'm saying? But that's where it was carved for the time. And I know, I mean, at least for my, I can remember thinking back when I in the older years, I want no little easy little youth man to deal with. You know, what I'm saying? Like, I was
I
a real menace to society at certain points. That I know, you know what I'm saying. So shout out to my mother and my father. I had a little different dynamic because I had a stepfather and my father who both was imparting on me their values and the things that they believe in and for I couldn't remember too much of it, but for a point in time, my father was in jail as well. You know what I'm saying? So I had the experience of having to visit my father in jail, and having that experience as well. So I have a kind of a little different perspective, but I really appreciate the things that they did bestow upon me. I think it gave me a very very solid foundation. I was somebody who was in everything. I was in Rockwitchy Club, quiz bowl, soccer, travel basketball, track. I was doing everything, and those are some of the things where I try to impart to my children that hey, go out here and figure out what's stick and be a part of everything and communicate and so forth. So I appreciate everything that they've bestowed upon me, and I take some of those things and I try to instill it within my kids as well.
Okay, so you would say that some of the life lessons that your father impart on you, you also impart on your kids, or are there certain things that you got from your father that you definitely changed when raising yours?
I would say both. I would
Yeah,
say both.
definitely. Yeah.
So one of the things that I have the luxury of, I feel like I had a lot more freedom. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot more freedom than people I know. I had the freedom to do a lot of things, and I had a much, well, at least with my father, at least I didn't really talk to my stepfather that much until I became a little bit older and still was minute. But for my father, I talked to my father a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like I could have had any kind of conversation with him. There was nothing I really couldn't tell him, and I felt like I would get in so much trouble, like it gonna be to a detriment. So I had a very open line of communication, And then I think that was the one of the most important things that I loved about him, that I carry on with my kids. So like my kids would tell me some crazy stories sometimes, and as a matter of fact, that actually helps me with a lot more kids. Even sometimes other people kids, like I just naturally know how to kind of create that environment because it was created for me. So I naturally know how to, like, okay, you know what, make them feel comfortable enough, that friendly feeling for them to say like, hey, yeah, I get this girl I like in school, or I tried this, or I know about this bad word, and all these kind of things is like, man, my dad says, nah, let's a fast one, man. She like me. And some of the things she would tell me like, wow, listen, I'm glad I have this open line of communication to hear some of
That
these
she,
things.
that she trusts you to tell you the things that she would
Yeah.
keep secret normally. So that's good.
Yeah, that I think that would be the biggest thing.
Yeah, and I'd have to agree. It's both. You cannot pick and choose what's good, what's bad, what you want to bring on, what you don't want to carry. Like with the stuff that I want to bring on, I mean, my father literally changed his name legally to Positive. So we've had these messages of positivity throughout our entire lives. I mean, his whole slogan, copywritten, everything is positive is how I live. All types of things like be positive, live positive, think positive. Every time we go to school, anytime he drop us off somewhere, it's peace over the heart. I mean, we used to find it embarrassing at times, especially like going into junior high and up, where he's still doing that. But no, man, peace over the heart. That's such a great message, a simple message. It shouldn't be something to be embarrassed of. It really helped to keep me in a way of positive thinking, even in some extremely serious times and dark times. Just to always go back to just those simple sayings. So that's something I definitely bringing along with me. Um, shoot, taekwondo. We were forced into taekwondo, so it wasn't always enjoyable for myself, but definitely got a lot of great lessons through taekwondo, being able to manage and control emotions and just channel it in a much healthier way. My son is now in taekwondo. He enjoys it, so good for him. But yeah, that's some of just a few of the things that took from him from the positive side. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, he could have been a little more mean and aggressive than he needed to be in some instances. So I try to be self aware about those when I get like that, because I do definitely have that in me too. Sometimes I do lose patience because again, those kids, for one, they don't care about what you got going on. They only really care about themselves right now. And yeah, so I try to at least manage when I do get in those moments of anger and frustration to at
Well,
least
we commend you for
yeah
that, being self-aware and knowing that you do have thoughts. You are human and trying to keep yourself regulated and in check. So, commend you on
yeah
that for sure, fellas. We're in 2024. Things change. We are progressing at a faster pace than normal. The role of fathers is evolving in modern parenting. How do you think things has changed, and how are you implementing those changes in your day to day as fathers?
true. I guess I'll start this one, man. For one, technology, golly, when we was kids in elementary, early elementary, we were still on CD players, VCR tapes. We all 95 babies here, 90s babies. So yeah, we didn't have all of this fast paced technology now. We had dial up internet. Couldn't even go on the internet with
Like that
somebody using
song,
a
son.
landline, dude. So
Get off the
so
phone.
yeah, burning CDs. People don't even people. These kids think burning CD is throwing it in a fire, dude.
You check?
That's even if they know what a CD is. That's crazy. So
That's true.
Cassette and then fuck.
yeah, so obviously with that's one of the biggest changes from growing up then to now. Um, corporal punishment right now is a lot more frowned upon as it was in the past. So a lot of people moving towards either gentle or authoritative parenting, where which I think authoritative parenting is great because you do all of the disciplining without the corporal punishment. It takes a lot more patience. It takes you correcting an issue every single time when it's happening. But it's definitely, I think, the best way to discipline your child.
So no
So
more spare the rod, spare the child.
well,
Okay.
you don't spare the rod. You just don't use a physical rod. You use a you're using your reasoning and disciplining. So say you tell a child to do something, they don't listen.
Mm-hmm.
All it takes is one time to tell them. Next time you go walk to them, you grab them by the hand. You don't have to squeeze or be aggressive with it. Walk them,
Mm-hmm.
force them to where they need to go. Tell them, hey, pick this up. I told you to pick this up. Make them pick it up. You didn't have to beat them to do that. You just had to get
Directed
up off the
guidance.
couch. You just had to get off the couch and set your put your foot down and set that authority there. Or say you say
Yes.
something, they don't listen, you just come, boom, take away the iPad or whatever, take away the toy or whatever, and put that toy away for a week. They're gonna learn and let them know why you're doing it. It ain't require any type of lashing or physical striking. It was just you addressing the direct issue and giving them a consequence for the issue that they didn't resolve or didn't listen to. So I'd say
Right.
those two things, and then obviously with the technology as well, do have to be mindful of the things that these kids getting into because these kids are advanced, man. They know how to use iPads. They know how to log into things. They know how to point passwords at like 4, 5, 6. They know how to get in between stuff. They know how to go onto YouTube. They know how to find the videos. They know how to scroll to the side. And one thing about YouTube specifically, you got some weirdos on that shit, dude.
Yeah,
So
definitely gotta be
and
mindful.
and if you're not there, at least checking in, monitoring, or limiting how much for one they have screen time in general, but limiting specifically YouTube, they could get onto some very crazy things, and it teaches them and talks about some very crazy things, from even suicide to hurting people or
Mm-hmm.
stealing and lying to your parents. It's a lot of crazy stuff that some people do, and these is adults that's doing this stuff on these kid channels. So that be mindful of that, parents, for those who just give the child the iPad because it's easier and just let them run with it. Just yeah, be mindful of that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that Farry did a really good job. I just want to reiterate this the technological part and being aware. I'll give an example. Like now, I know about like my kids are a little bit older than Tafari kids, so they are a little bit more advanced into this technology and YouTube Shorts and all these things. Like now, I mentioned something about cuddling aggressively. So we know what them kind of things is. So you kind of forced to have conversations which you would expect to have later on, or which maybe you as as a kid had later on in your life. Some of these conversations you're being forced to have all your on, and like just like how they learn about suicide and these things, they also learning about depression and all these different things. So in terms of the mental health awareness and having to instill the extra positivity like how your dad did far right and those kind of things, you have to be intentional about, very intentional, not that that you didn't have to be do it at all, but no, you have to be a little bit more intentional about it because they're being influenced by so many other different things in comparison
Yep.
to when we was children. You know what I'm saying? Like even like the way they learn in schools is completely different, so you might have to reinforce things in the home. Like they're more, everything is going a little bit more towards technology and all. Growing up, we were learning about planting and certain things, especially in the Caribbean, where our whole experience is a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? So now that
Yeah.
over the time, the American ways of, I say American like, as if we're not American, but we're more Caribbean than American. But over time,
You
the
say the Western
American
way.
ways, yeah, the American ways kind of came down and more have a much more influence on the Caribbean, and it lost some of the principles and certain things that we had when we were growing up. So have to think about trying, if you want to at least try to instill and really build a much better foundation rather than having them on the iPad 24/7, or even just thinking about, you know, how can I find the good accounts on the iPad if they're going to use it to be able to teach them and teaching them the technology, because now you're going to school online and these kind of things when COVID happened and all these things, you know what I'm saying? So you have to learn it. Sometimes you don't even know about it. So now you have to go teach yourself to be able to teach them and help them to be able to use it effectively. Same thing with AI and stuff. They're growing up in this age. You need to be able to learn these things to help them communicate and use these things effectively.
All right. Yeah.
True.
These screens, these iPads, phones, everything, it could be a great resource for children once used appropriately. I mean, they have so much educational apps. They have so much great YouTube channels. They have so much great shows to watch. So even if you not against screen time or even limiting it, you could be navigating it in a way that
There you go.
really develops your child in a very great way. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
All right. I do like the fact that you touched on that web. Even though we are progressing in the modern time, we do have to hold on to values based in our culture. So I really do like that you said that, yes, we're advancing. Yes, we have to keep up, but we're not letting go of certain things. Certain things we definitely letting go, like Farai said, but like things that you hold close to your heart culturally, let's also go to pass it along so kids don't tend to forget how they got here.
Facts.
So I appreciate you mentioning that, both of you, letting go of certain things, Farai, as well as holding on to certain core values, web. So that's good. I like the fact that you touched on that, guys. But, you know, being a father, being present, that's the important things. But we all know, the kind of father that you can be to your kids is also based on the relationship that you have with the other half. Because you didn't make those kids alone. So tell me about some of the perks, the obstacles that you guys face with co-parenting, parenting with a spouse, whether here, near, or far. Let's dive into that.
So I'll jump on this side because I have the experience on both ends. So currently, I don't live with my kids. As a matter of fact, they live home in the Virgin Islands. I live all the way here in Arizona. And I feel like when we have these discussions about parenting, while I do acknowledge the fact that, okay, you know what, the woman usually is the primary caregiver in these kind of situations, and they have an extreme amount of stress and things going on. I don't think we have enough conversations about the fathers who are away and don't get to see their kids unless it's for these little bit of times, and the stress that they go through mentally, because it's always, oh, you over here living your best life and everything cool, and it's never like, yo, this man might be going through it, especially when you move on and you in other relationships, now you have other people, children, you taking care of and stuff. Whole time you in the back of your head like, yo, I have my children here that I don't even get to take care of, and I have to show up for somebody else kids, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a stressful situation. And then on top of all these things, you have the communication barriers and stuff to be able to co-parent. So sometimes, like, okay, now you separated, your values might not be the same, you know what I'm saying? And the things that you want to be able to instill into your kids, it's very hard to do that from afar if you're not every day, you know what I'm saying? That not everything that you could get across over the phone or get across in a visit or get across in a couple months. So essentially you have to kind of make a sacrifice in yourself and just go out there and find creative ways and how to be able to communicate the things you want to communicate, how to instill the things you want to instill, and then have the conversations with the person that you're co-parenting with to be able to get them on the same page or buy into what you want as well. Hopefully, you guys find a common ground and then have them aid in reinforcing what you want to reinforce in these things. And then you go into all the financial aspects and these things, but it's a lot easier to be there in the life every day. But for those who are not able to, like, don't let it discourage you, man. Don't let it discourage you. At the end of the day, it's really not about you. You know what I'm saying? It's really
True.
about being able to help these kids progress and get to being great adults. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the mission you took on. You didn't take on a mission to feel some great way about yourself. I mean, that comes along with it, but don't forget the main thing. Let the main thing be the main thing, and just do what you can. You know what I'm saying? And never stop trying and doing what you can to be able to facilitate these relationships, both with the co-parent, with the other parent, and with the child.
very well said, dude. So with me, obviously, I live with my wife. We live in the same house with the kids. So for me, I'd say overall it's definitely been great. She, even though I am the father, she is. I would still say she's the primary caregiver, mainly because like in situations like with her, she took off work for the entire year basically to take care of our daughter. So she's been on the one on the ground from a day-to-day basis, morning to evening, taking care of our children, taking care of my daughter specifically. And not only that, but as my as a mother, kids gravitate to their mother a lot more. I don't think Nami is at the point yet where she could necessarily be a daddy's girl or anything like that. So they gravitate towards her often. So I do know that it could be very stressful on her. So I do definitely try to make it a point to alleviate some of the stress. Either taking TJ, let's go on the road, even if you don't want to go on the road and be up on the mommy, come, let's go, jump in the car. Try to at least take off stress in whatever ways I can for both our children. Nami now she does this thing when she wakes up and try to go to her mommy specifically. But for both of them, I try to definitely take on the night shift fully so that she can sleep throughout the night. She still don't because she wake up for any sound. But um things like that. So we really do have a cohesive team collaborative thing going that works. One thing I'd say the challenge is definitely like with the styles of parenting and some of the things that
Mm.
she would let go as opposed to me, and it kind of being a conflict in especially when it comes to discipline specifically. Like she would she would put her foot down for something, give a command, give the punishment of what's going to happen if you don't do something, and then 2 3 hours later completely backtrack on it. And then for a long time I used to just leave it alone and more so just like tell her after the fact that yo what's going on, like you say no iPad for the week, even though I thought that was excessive. That's what you said, but yet you give him 5 hours later in that same day
Yeah.
that you said it. And so sometimes, and then sometimes when I discipline, she might think that I'm being too harsh or things like that. So it's important to definitely be on the same page, which I'd say now we are more so on the same page. I would just pull her up on something. If she does forget, she would try to interrupt me with something, but it's like, yo, I got this. And it's been working. It's been working, but definitely that could be a space that causes some stress and some tension, that communication would help with, because children need to be disciplined or they would go out of control. So you don't spare the rod, ever. Remember that, parents. That's a pro
True,
tip.
true, true.
All right.
All right,
So
fellas. Being fathers comes, with its ups and downs. It's tough, it's challenging, it helps you grow, but you love them. So that's give me an insight, a little backstory. What's something, no matter how bad your day been going, how bad they been in the day, you know, what's something that your kids that do that just brighten your day, just make you smile no matter what mood you're in?
okay, I guess I'll start, man. Um,
Let me hear you,
so
okay? I like the smile. I like the smile.
yeah, man. No matter how if it's a stressful day, these contractors giving you
Mhm.
stress or whatever, you come home and as well, TJ a little different now. He older. He kind of just don't even care. But as soon as he come in, it's like daddy. Everybody crawl to the door. Big smiles. You
Mhm.
just seeing them is so refreshing. Seeing smiles on their face. Now I'm gonna turn around. If she on my lap, she smile. If she on the ground, she crawl towards me. When TJ was a baby, we were living Vista Mar, down in East. I would be coming out my door and TJ done crawling to the wall just and bouncing on the door like yeah, yeah. And man, you can't, it's a feeling that you have to experience, dude. You have to experience that when your kids just so happy to see daddy, or when they just want to play with you. It's a great feeling. So coming home to that and seeing that and feeling that energy, yeah, it'll take anything that you had going on straight out the window. It's good. Life is great. I am home. Not home being the place, home being the people. So
I would just share my most excited moments recently. So me and the kids been my kids will be warring. So my kids they're 1 year apart. My kids will be warring. Like it's always big competition with them. It's always something. They just be warring. They have two completely to a certain extent this personalities. So recently we've been doing a lot of math. So they've been learning multiplication and division. And at first, Amani is young and Amani barely know how to do stack addition and stack subtraction in check. And Nala is a beast. Nala quick with it now. So Amani will get discouraged. Like she'll get discouraged and be upset that Nala will get more right. So I kind of had to talk to them and like, look, this is not a competition amongst you guys. You guys are supposed to help each other. And since then, Nala's been taking it to really like help Amani like understand how to do the stacking addition and so forth. Like to the point that now Amani is way more open to asking Nala for like Nala help me. And then when they get they be so excited and they go high five each other. So just seeing them
Oh
helping each
man.
other overcome obstacles, bro, is just the greatest thing ever to see that because I so used to them like beefing. So seeing Nala, especially like taking that big sister role, even though they're only a year apart, and saying, "Okay, this is how you do it." No, 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 no. Put the line here. Okay, Manny, why I tell you like that? That shit feels so good, bro. That shit feels so
That's
good.
good.
Like, man, this is what it's about, man. I love to see it, man. But
That's good.
I want to bring up something before we dip off. And I'm a big proponent about I don't use the whole word around. What is it? Say the word. Say the word. Put a word
You,
on screen or
you got
something.
it. I'm encouraging you.
Proponent. You said it right.
Okay, cool. But recently in my financial education journey, I've stumbled upon something I don't think is talked about enough in our communities. And even when it's just talked about, I think there's a lot of bad stigmas around it and is destructive. It turns into destructive conversations, which I think we could really move the culture forward in terms of the conversations around generational wealth. And that is life insurance, people. Life
Yes, life is
insurance.
short and fickle.
We're here talking about being able to pass down values, legacies, and different things to our kids. I I can't count the amount of people I know passed away too early or even later in the older age and didn't have anything financially to pass down to the kids other than bills. Or even if they had something to pass down, it wasn't that much. When if we start having discussions about life insurance for a small monetary donation that you may drink away, eat away, do something with in the event that you have an untimely death, you could leave back so much for your kids, you know what I'm saying? Or when you get older, and maybe your kids older, they're a little younger than you could still leave back a legacy for them and their grandchildren. We need to start having more conversations about life insurance. People, we need to start getting enrolled in life insurance. I don't care if this misconception is expensive. You get life insurance for $20, $30. Now, me personally, I'm a little bit more invested because of my where I'm trying to be financially and so forth, and how I'm trying to set up things. But at least have something to cover your house. At least have something to cover your funeral expenses. Just put something in there into this fund so that you are able to leave something back in case anything happens. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we don't know when we're gonna go, but all we know is we're gonna go. It's inevitable. You know what I'm saying? It's not. I know some people like to look at it as like, hey, if I do this, or usually it's the older folks nowadays is like, oh, you kind of wishing that on the person. You know what I'm saying? Or if you try to get an older
Better
person
safe
to
than
do it,
sorry.
it's like, wow, you want me to dead? You know what I'm saying? Especially in the Caribbean,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
we have to get out of that mindset. You know what I'm saying? We have to get out of that mindset. Like this is a tool. Like I'm not wishing you, but I know this is going to happen. Like, it's inevitable. Like it's a
Exactly.
matter of time. To be honest, sound bad, but it's a matter of time. So why not do these things so that you can leave back a legacy, at least financial things, for your loved ones, friends sometimes, and whoever the case may be. So that's just something I wanted to throw in. I don't know if you guys want to add on it, or if you have anything to add on it, but that's something I wanted to throw in there and drive home. Go pursue life insurance. If you don't know where to start, drop a link in the comment, say life insurance, and I'll help you get set up, man.
And then I would
I'm not
also
a life
say
insurance agent. I just know people.
with like having a job, you can't get life insurance to your job, but I'd also say look into the private life insurance as well to even add on top of that. Like Web say, you don't want to die unexpectedly, and you leaving your kids with a hole rather than a hill. You check. You don't want to burden them by you leaving and just adding on top of already what they have to deal with financially. You sure you could pass down a house that you bought, but if it's not paid off, that's just a bill that goes to them that they probably can't even handle. And then what they either get rid of it, sell it, rather, and you probably wanting them to keep it in the family for even your grandchildren. That's like Web said, that's something to really consider. So at least cover the assets that you currently have. If you going into life insurance, that should be the goal at least. So,
With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to another episode. Happy Father's Day once again to all the fathers, all the father figures, all the coaches, all the mentors, anybody that's playing that father figure role in your life. Be sure to show them some appreciation. Shout out to all of y'all based on the Come True podcast. Brian, give thanks for hosting this one. We look forward to you being a father when the time does come. You don't know we get your back and we have all the
You
experience to
don't give me
come
the exact date and
mentor
also
you. Barry, man, with that,
all it up.
we say
Peace over the
five.
heart.
Peace over the heart.
peace over the heart. Thanks for coming through. Happy Father's Day, guys.
For all the cruise on them, 1240. Right about now. Coconut tree, hotel and the just sipping on that. I'm sipping on that rum. Coconut tree, hotel and just sipping on that. I'm sipping on that cruise and rum. We cruise on, yeah. Real cruise man, real cruise man, real cruise man, real cruise man, real cruise man. We cruise on, yeah. Real cruise man, real cruise man, real cruise man, real cruise man, real cruise man.
Yeah, Farah, what we say?
We say, pat the gal them there.
What?
They pat the boys them there.
What?
They pat the band back there.
What?
They pat the hit fans there.
What?
They know where. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I laughing in your face cause you not from ya. I straight chillin' with the crew. Stays on the block, just flossing hard. St. Croix is where it's at.
Where the jam, them be poppin' sunny as we be shopping, man fence, we be hopping, hustle hard, never stopping now.
Coconut tree,
Coconut tree.
hotel
Banaki,
yeah. Just
sipping on that. I'm sipping on that cruise and rum, yeah.
Coconut tree,
Coconut tree.
hotel
Banaki,
yeah. Just sipping
I'm sipping on that. He's sipping on that cruise and rum.
Yeah. Real cruise man, real cruise man, real cruise man, real cruise man, real cruise man. We's cruisin', yeah, yeah. Real cruise man, real cruise man, real cruise man, real cruise man, real cruise man.
Yeah, I still looking for people far right.